Is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.
Well, that is me. We're on the Sunday edition of Night Dreams Talk Radio. And wouldn't you have it, our guest tonight, Ron Fitzgerald, was supposed to call in about 10 minutes ago. I've been trying to get a hold of Ron, and I have had zero luck getting a hold of him. I left a few messages, so hopefully he'll be calling in on the show here so we can interview him again on second time on our show. Hey, I want to welcome all the listeners that are tuned in to Night Dreams Talk Radio, the Sunday edition. A lot of things are going on our show, and a lot of things is going to be happening starting in June. That's right, June 4th. Well, a lot of things are going to be going on. Well, number one is we're going to extend our hours. We're going to be on from 8 to 11 Pacific West Coast time on Night Dreams Talk Radio. We've been added on a few more apps, and we've been, revising our website too. So just to make Night Dreams better. Also, in a few minutes, Ryan Eaton will be calling in and co-hosting the show tonight. Of course, he was expecting to talk to Ron too, but he will be starting on the first week of June, the Sunday host on Night Dreams, which is on Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific West Coast time. A lot of things going on, and what can I say? We're also looking for guests to be on our show. So if you got a story to talk about like Bigfoot or UFOs or black-eyed children or even ghost hunting, please contact us at motorcycletalkbygary@gmail.com. That's motorcycletalkbygary@gmail.com. And if you want to check out our website, well, you certainly can at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. That's www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I know I sure have. A lot of things I've done new in the studio. I added a couple more computers, added a couple more processors, which maybe you don't understand what it is, or a lot of people might not understand what it is, but it gives us a little bit, better sound to our show. And that's also, it's important for you, the listener. And also, we want to make you feel, like you're just as much as important as a listener, as me as the host, beyond Night Dreams Talk Radio. So starting in June, as of the 4th, the last half an hour or maybe even the last hour, you'll be able to call us. You might want to write this number down. It's 1-253-203-6695. That's 1-253. 203-6695. My mind went blank there for a minute. Happens when you reach a certain age, and when you freak out when you don't have the guests on here, you thought you were going to have. Hey, a lot of major guests will be on our show in June. I mean, we have stepped up the game so much. It's shocking, and I want to thank Linda Boardman for that. She's our booking person, and she's been booking some of the top guests out there in the paranormal to be on our show starting in June. So again, if you ran into a Bigfoot or something like that, please let us know. And hopefully this is at least Ryan. Hey, Ryan, are you there?
I am here.
Okay. Oh, boy. It's funny. Everything sounded really good till we got on the air, and then all of a sudden it's really sounded... Did you touch anything or anything?
I haven't messed with nothing.
Oh, wow. Maybe it's Sunday,
Could be. Yeah.
It could be. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out where Ron is, actually, I've been in touch with him all week long, and he was quite aware that he was supposed to be on between 7 and 8, unless something, major happened or something.
Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. So I was just, giving a rundown about the show, that in June you're going to be doing the Sunday 7 to 8 slot for Night Dreams Talk Radio. and was telling everybody, that they're part of this show. So
absolutely,
yeah. And guys, being part of the show, one thing I do need you to do is when you go like on the Speaker Radio app, or any of the apps that have like or follow, please click it, and also share Night Dreams Talk Radio to your friends. We're trying to really step up the game on the show, and we're working right now, or I'm working on bringing it on some radio stations. So that's what I've been working on really hard for the past month, and it looks like it's going to happen very shortly.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been interesting. Some of the guests we've already had on this week, from everything from UFOs to Bigfoot to Dark Waters, was on here the other night, Friday night, talking about horror stories. And boy, can he come up with some stories.
I was kind of expecting that tonight.
Well, so was I. I tell you one thing that Ron Fitzgerald, besides being a world famous, magician, he's written a lot of TV shows. Like, you remember Weeds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was a writer for Weeds, and I used to like that show. Not so much because the lead actress was always naked in the bathtub, and I will say she had great-looking boobs. I'll tell you that. I can say this. When I was in commercial broadcasting, I would get
You couldn't say it.
I'd get a letter in the mail within about 7 to 14 days with a fine attached to it.
Yes, from our friends at the FCC.
Yeah, and I remember one time when I was working for. Then it went to a couple of different stations, but it used to be KTAC in Tacoma.
Oh,
yeah. And I remember, DJs back that time used to say, well, who's your favorite DJ? And they would come back. And I used to go, one of my names I used to go under was Rick Stevens, in broadcasting as a DJ. That's just one of them. But, I thought I hit the mute button on the mixer. I was playing the song Fanny by the Bee Gees. And, she wanted to know how great a lover I was. And I told her. And, it was like 3 minutes later, right? I get a phone call from the station manager telling me my replacement DJ would be there shortly. Not to say anything more on the radio. Just keep playing songs till he gets there and then hand him the keys.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then, then like clockwork, I got this huge fine from the FCC. And it was not a little fine. It was actually big. And actually, when you're in the commercial end of it, unlike, I don't know how amateur radio is nowadays, or CB is, they would set you with a fine, but undoubtedly you could probably waive it and get out of it. When you're doing commercial, radio, you don't get out of it.
I was thinking that more than likely a fine back then for commercial would be in the thousands of dollars.
Now, I think it was like $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And anymore, there's very little enforcement for CB. And on the ham bands, there's some fines, but it takes a lot to get there. Usually there's just letters asking you to cease and desist or operate in a different manner.
Yeah.
So it's all focused on broadband. Commercial stuff is where the big interest is these days.
Yeah, they was back then too. Back then $1,500 was a lot of money. We're talking.
Well, sure it was.
Yeah, we're talking about late 70s, and it's funny. I just want to say I went from a large format market radio station to a place in Forks, Washington. A lot of you guys might have to look that up on the Google it. They made that TV show. What was that one TV show was done in Forks?
They did the movies up there for the vampire movies.
Yeah. That's what they were. Yeah, and they did the TV series there too for a while that was on. And I went from a big market radio station, all the way down to a radio station that at nighttime dropped their power down from. Well, daytime it was 5,000 watts down to 250 watts. So you could.
I was just going to say 500 watts, but yeah, right.
Yeah, I think people could. It's funny, they could hear me in the UK and hear me all across the world, but You think you could hear me down the other side of the road down in Forks? Forget it.
No.
Not at 250
long
watts.
Skip, long skip. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it took me forever to get back, from there I went to KAYO and then KVI and a bunch of other stations after that. But I tell you, it took a long time, I mean, a lot of the station owners or the program directors or the program managers, boy, once you get that letter from the FCC, they're really skeptical of hiring you. Unless you're
absolutely.
Unless you're Howard Stern, you could say all that stuff.
Well, the world is a different world nowadays. There's a lot more you can get away with, even on the air.
Yeah, no. To be honest with you,
I mean, anybody who questions that just has to look at network TV.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I will tell you, ladies out there listening, I will say this: DJs or talk show hosts are no better lovers than the guy down the street.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, well, I am speaking for myself. They don't call me Shorty because I'm short. No, but anyway, getting into some of the shows we've had on this week, some of it, like the Earth wobble, what's going on, the Earth is starting to develop a little bit of a wobble. The magnetic field is shifting, not just in feet now. We're talking miles and miles each year, and that is getting kind of, a little bit scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then
go
ahead.
You mentioned UFOs, and I was just looking at the National UFO Reporting Center, the latest reports for Washington State.
Yeah, you mean Peter Davenport's? Yes.
Yep, absolutely. And there's been quite a few posts just this month alone. But since the beginning of the year, it's unbelievable the number of reports just in Washington State.
Well,
and they're all over the place.
Yeah. And, I guess some of it, you can just chalk it off of people, maybe get Venus mixed up with something else but, I do think, I really do think that the UFO thing is just starting to really hit again. It went for a couple years where it kind of dropped off. And it seems like in the past year, it's been really getting, back hot, topic again. And more people are seeing UFOs than they have in the past.
More people are willing to come forward and report them, too. Whereas in the past, just like with Bigfoot sightings and anything else, people were scared to say anything for, fear of being labeled. And it's become more common now for folks to say, heck with it, this is what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
And you can believe me or not, but this is what I saw. And as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to sit here and tell people everything we talk about I believe in. I'm not going to say that because I probably don't believe in everything we talk about, but I'm willing to sit here with an open mind and listen and ask questions and at least say, hey, there's a chance this could be legit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to, you have to have an open mind to, be behind the microphone. If you don't, what's the point of even being behind the microphone? I try, at least on my end over here, to let the guests, say what they say. And if I feel, honestly, after about the first half an hour that they're blowing smoke at me and that they're, their topic is kind of wavering a little bit, then I might make a decision to, pull the plug on them. But if a person can sit there and cover the topic, honestly, at least I feel they're being honest. And